Hey Commanders, Commander Hoopchi here with a prospecting video for today, how to prospect on these planets. Sorry for the nasal quality of my voice. It seems I've picked up a sinus infection somewhere along the way, but I'll try to struggle through here. I wanted to go ahead and get this video going because I've been doing a little bit of this and I've actually been enjoying the prospecting. Prospecting on a planet actually starts before you ever touch ground. And I'll show you what I mean. You can see I'm kind of hovering in this 1 kilometer range right now. You want to prospect and to do it lucratively. You want to make sure you're under the 2 kilometer threshold, but not down on the surface quite yet. I like to keep it up in this 1 to 1.5 kilometers. If I look like I'm drifting down a little bit, I'll climb back up a little bit. As long as you keep it under 2 kilometers. The reason is because we're going to do an extended search for anomalies, points of interest, POIs, I may call them from here on out. But anyway, things on the planet's surface that we might be interested in. And it may take me a while to find one of these, but one thing you can do to increase your rate of finding these points of interest is to go ahead and increase your sensor range. Your controls may vary, but for me, the way I do that is I'm going to hold it looks like Y for me, but that could be A for you depending on the way you have it set up. So I will hold, and then hit right bumper. And you can know it's increasing by seeing the yellow thing at the bottom of the screen sliding across the bottom, the little yellow box. You can see it sliding back and forth. So I'm now increasing and decreasing my sensor range. That's what that small yellow block is there. So we want to go ahead and advance it up and increase it all the way up to this area right here so that our ship will be more capable in terms of finding these points of interest and anomalies. And now what we're looking for is we're just going to kind of, keep ourselves under the 2 kilometer threshold, and we're going to keep an eye on our radar. Once we locate one of these anomalies, we'll see it show up on the radar as a colored circle. Especially now that I have my sensors set to longer range, I'll be able to see that colored circle a little bit better showing up in the sensors. And the higher up you are, the easier it is to see these. So I've dropped a little bit below 1 kilometer now, so I'm going to go ahead and kick it back up and get myself up. It may take me a while to locate one of these. I'm just going to let the video roll, but I will cut out any extra footage until I find one. So for now, we'll just cruise around, try to find one, and I'll be back in a moment once I locate one to talk about it. Okay, you can see now I've got two circles here on the radar. One's right under me, and then there's another one, kind of off in this direction here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set myself down in this circle here so that we can talk about how to use the SRV and the scanner on the SRV in order to locate whatever it is down here that's pinging my radar so hard. I'll try to find a place to sit down. If it takes me a while, I'll go ahead and cut this out. It looks like this is going to be right down at the bottom of this crater, and sometimes those can be hard to land in, but I'm going to go ahead and find a spot. Once you get below, a certain level, those radar pings disappear, but just trust that they're there. We'll find them using the SRV once we get out, and I'll show you how to use the SRV scanner to locate these things. Let's go ahead and get this bird on the ground. I'll probably cut this out so you don't have to watch me try to find a landing spot. Okay, Commanders, I've got my ship on the ground. I'm in my SRV. You'll notice the waveform scanner at the top of the radar dinner plate. You notice it's got some signatures on it right now. One right in the middle that goes, almost all the way up the width of the scanner. That's your ship, okay? A complicated devices, outposts, outcroppings, areas will show up, in a sort of a waveform that kind of covers your entire scanner. And those signatures that you see on the scanner can, if you learn them, you can start to pretty much kind of know what you're seeing before you ever even get to the object that you're looking for. Right now, that's the way my ship looks. I'm going to go ahead and dismiss the ship though, so we don't have to, we're not looking at that. And you can see what's we're actually looking for here in terms of the anomaly or point of interest that we saw on the floor of this crater somewhere. So now that the ship's gone, you'll notice I have this wide-ranging pattern of hits, and I haven't come down here and found this thing yet. But what I want to kind of do is, it looks like it's going to be a pretty a pretty good find because it's pretty complicated. But you want to start trying zeroing in. You want to try to put the hits in the center of your screen, in the center of the waveform scanner, and just start moving toward them. And as you get closer and closer to them, they'll start to get sharper and sharper in detail. As you can see, I have these multiple items here. I'm assuming this is probably some sort of wreckage here on the canyon floor. And as I get closer, then you'll see that I can start to zero in on the exact location by making minute adjustments to my direction until I find exactly where it is, what it is that I'm looking for. Now I've also got one that's kind of off to the right over there that's actually looking to be even stronger and maybe even a little better. We'll find out about that in a minute. I'm also starting, you can also listen to the chirps. You can start to hear chirps that will kind of guide you in terms of what it is that you're looking for as well. You can actually start to recognize the chirps and come to understand what it is you're looking for based just on sound alone. Now, I didn't find anything that direction, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of focus in on this big, this big scan right here that keeps showing up in the middle of my screen. I just put that in the center, and I'm just going to truck over this way and try to figure out what this is. So back to what I was doing, you can now see that the scan is stretching almost all the way across the scanner, and that's what happens. It may start out as a tiny little band, but as you get closer and closer to zooming in and getting close, you'll see the scan gets more and more wider and all the way across the spectrum, which means we're getting very close to what it is we're looking for. And this looks like possibly an outpost or something like that. It's a very complicated scan, and I'm probably going to be dealing with turrets and different things like that here. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it's certainly something interesting that we're going to go check out and see what we can find. I'll be back to locate something else in just a moment, but this is definitely a point of interest. Now you can see the scan has gotten sharper and sharper, and it's definitely an outpost of some kind, so definitely found something interesting here. We've got a defense turret there. It's wanted. We're going to get rid of that. Okay, I robbed the mining extract site back there and got a couple of items of interest. Now I'm using the scanner again, and I've located another pretty complex scan here. Notice it's fairly close, but it's also fairly far away because it's spreading entirely across the screen. But it's a fairly complex scan, so let's go see what this one is. It may take me a while to get there. I'll edit it down, but this is the way you use the scanner, is just to find these signatures and then track them down in your SRV to see if it's worth messing with. In the case of the mining extraction camp back there, I did get a couple of items, that I could sell or maybe use in some way, but nothing really, fancy. Or now here, this looks pretty good. Notice the complexity of the scan, and now it's beginning to rarefy and become clearer and clearer. The resolution of the scan is getting better and better. We might want to be prepared to face some sort of turret guardians here. But it definitely looks like we found some canisters of something. Consumer technology. Let's see what else we got here. Domestic appliances. Moissanite. And uranium. So, here's some items that we could pick up, store, sell, scavenge, prospect, whatever you want to call it. Right now my cargo bay is full from the things that I robbed from the mining extract center, but hopefully that gives you kind of an insight in how to use the scanner in order to locate items and then be able to narrow it down to where those items are located, and whether it's not, it's something you're interested in. If it's in the bottom third of the waveform scanner, then it's most likely some sort of material, a metallic material or a mineral or something like that. If it's a complex scan up toward the top two-thirds of the waveform scanner, like these containers here are, then you'll notice, they have various other signatures, and those are a little more complex. It could be an outpost, it could be something like that. And then, of course, our ship, our ship's coming down. You know what the ship waveform looks like, so it'll be down in just a minute, and it's now on the waveform, or will be on the waveform as well when it lands. So that's a quick introduction to prospecting and how to do it. It's really kind of, to me, a waste of time to prospect, to land on a planet randomly and just jump out and start prospecting. You want to use your ship in that, under that 2 kilometer umbrella, and roam around until you find points of interest, and then use that information to narrow it down and locate the items that you can find. And that's how you're going to find the most valuable items, I believe, that's out there to be prospected on planets. Hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and I'll address them as soon as I can. And remember, commanders, let's fly real safe out there when you're prospecting. Especially on any high G planets. Be careful on any planets above 2 Gs. It gets really dangerous. This is a low G planet, only 0.06 Gs. But anyway, it's a great prospecting opportunity here. I'm going to go drop off this cargo and maybe come back and pick up some of this stuff. Y'all have a great one.